Hi, my name is Betty Hart, and I am here with my friend and incredible playwright.
Kori Alston. My play is called A Bedtime Story for Black Boys on the Moon.
And what inspired this play, Corey?
Really me tapping into feelings of isolation during the pandemic that I hadn't experienced since I had been a child, and being back in a hyper isolated place. It was bringing up all these emotions that were like having me think back to a lot of experiences that I had as a kid and when I was feeling what did my life look like when I felt those things in the past, when I'd felt that alone. Um, and then this image just kept coming up for me of myself. And nighttime is when I felt the loneliest and when I felt like I was having the most kind of swirls of madness in my brain, and where I'd like almost like keeping myself captive or hostage. And I had just had this image of myself, and I would do this a lot of nights, just laying in my bed, kind of catastrophizing or thinking about something and looking out of the window up at the moon. And I just started kind of doing this thought experiment as a reflection of like, imagine there was another boy looking back at me, right? Like, imagine there was a little boy looking down from the moon at me in my window, feeling so alone. And maybe I wasn't so alone. And that's really what inspired this, was thinking about all the little boys who were out there laying in their beds at night, feeling alone, and the fact that they might actually have some community in that, even if they don't know or see or connect with each other.
I love that. I hope you talk about that tonight. So, like, this is new stuff I haven't heard. This is great.
Yeah,
Um, Especially since you've gone through a lab before,
yeah.
what do you look forward to most during lab week?
I think the thing I look forward to most during this lab week is actually the experience that I didn't get the last time being in lab. So last time I experienced like a pop-up lab. So the whole week was just my play and the artists who were working on that. And it was incredible. It was incredible in all of the ways. But I'm really, really looking forward to getting to interact with other playwrights, learn from the other playwrights, and meet the other artists who are involved in bringing their works to life as well. Actually, just came from brunch with the other playwrights, and we all got to meet each other, and it was really exciting because I think obviously don't know their work yet, haven't got to hear their pieces, but I can tell that we all have very unique perspectives that we're bringing to the table. So it'll be really exciting to learn from other playwrights, but also just to be in that celebratory state with other folks who are going through a similar process.
Corey, is there a specific mystery or wondering concerning your play that you really want to investigate further during this week of lab?
Particular mystery or wondering that I'm hoping to learn about. I think so. The way that I write, I try to leave a lot of space for the other actors and directors and other artists who are going to be working on the piece to really co-author the work. And so I really am intentional on leaving a lot of space for actors to bring themselves to characters. And so and every time I do so, and every time then I go through process, I learn about the characters themselves by having a real person with real emotions and real past that they are bringing to that work, bring it to life. And so I think one of the things I'm really excited to hopefully learn is a little bit about the characters that I've written. I know what they go through. I know what their circumstances are. I know general bits of their personalities and kind of how they talk and how they operate in the world, but all of those nuances of people that make us people, right? I'm excited for some actors to bring that to life and for me to learn a little bit more about the characters and to allow the actors who are really authoring this first time that these words are being spoken out loud to really set the direction of how these characters develop in future drafts of the play.
Nice. I am particularly excited about the chorus
Yeah.
and hearing what happens as these individuals begin to both play with your words and play with each other. So
Yes.
that's what I'm most excited about. I mean, the whole thing's great. And the yes.
Yeah, yeah, chorus. Really, it's just the first time I've written a chorus in this way, and it feels really exciting. It freed me up in a lot of ways to do some storytelling that I think so otherwise you'd have to try to do with stage directions or nonverbal things. It would allow me to like bring the what is typically like unseen or unknown out. And it creates this whole extra level of challenge in that you're bringing all these new voices, trying to tell one kind of cohesive story as almost like the narrator of the piece.
Can you name one or two plays that you consider foundational to who you are as a playwright?
Yes, I would say the two that come to mind um, are first Top Dog, Underdog. Susan Lori Parks. Her use of pause and silence and repetition is just, the first time I read one of her works, it changed in my mind what plays could be
Yes.
and what characters could sound like. And it gave me creative freedom to explore my own voice. And so I feel like I owe like my entire voice as a playwright to Susan Lori Parks. But Top Dog Underdog was like the play. And then also Waiting for Godot. Um, in the way that I think anytime I've seen Waiting for Godot, the actors that are bringing those roles to life make the play an entirely different thing. Every director has their own stamp on it, and so I'm really inspired by creating work that leaves that type of space that is like rich and dense with language at sometimes, and also like really sparse and kind of empty feeling at other times. So those I say were like are the two pieces that are most foundational for me.
Oh my goodness, you've just unlocked another reason why we work well as collaborators. Susan Lori Parks is one of my
Of course.
favorite playwrights of all time. Every time I see her work, it's amazing. Every time I read her work, it's amazing. I love the way she takes you on a ride with language, and I feel
Yep.
that's exactly what you do, and that poetry is prose for her, and so they're
Exactly.
interchangeable.
Yeah. I think I'm just excited about this piece as being one that can hopefully speak to multiple generations at the same time. It's another like really core, I think, tenet of the work that I do is really trying to. I got to take some awesome playwriting classes with um, Philip Dawkins, and he talks about this idea of like writing from below the doorknob when you're writing theater for young audiences. And so I was been really intentional with this play of trying to write both above and below the doorknob so that there is space for young people to sit and enjoy and relate to the story in ways that only young people can, and that there's space for adults who have gone through life to experience this story in ways that only adults who've gone through life can. And so that's something that I hope people experience, that it speaks to their inner child and their outer adult at the same time. But we'll see. We'll see what the audience has to say.